Welcome to this video where we'll explore how to test, build, and run a Flutter Dart application in Android Studio on your iPhone. If you're an iOS developer looking to expand your skill set into the world of cross-platform development, or if you're simply curious about how to leverage the power of Flutter with your existing iOS setup, then this video is for you. As we dive into the world of Flutter and Dart, it's essential to understand that while Android Studio might not be the first choice for iPhone users, it's indeed possible to use it for developing cross-platform apps. In this video, we'll break down the steps involved in setting up your environment to test, build, and run your Flutter app on an emulator or a physical device connected to your Mac, all while using Android Studio. First off, let's clarify why you might want to use Android Studio for Flutter development on an iPhone. The primary reason is that Android Studio provides a comprehensive set of tools for debugging, testing, and building applications, which can be very beneficial when working with cross-platform projects like those built with Flutter. To start, ensure you have the latest version of Android Studio installed on your Mac. This might seem counterintuitive since we're focusing on an iPhone. But remember, the development process happens on your computer, not directly on the iPhone. Once Android Studio is up and running, you'll need to install the Flutter plugin. This plugin is what enables Flutter development within the IDE, providing features like code completion, debugging, and project creation templates specifically for Flutter projects. With the plugin installed, create a new Flutter project in Android Studio. You can do this by selecting Start a new Flutter project from the Startup dialog or through the menu system once you're inside the IDE. Now that your project is set up, let's talk about how to run it on an emulator or physical device. For iPhone users, the most straightforward approach will be using an emulator, since you can't directly connect an iPhone to Android Studio for debugging purposes as you would with an Android device. To use an emulator, you'll need to have a simulator set up on your Mac that mimics the environment of the device you're targeting. In this case, we're talking about running an Android emulator, which might seem unusual given our focus on iPhone. But remember, Flutter apps can run on multiple platforms with minimal changes. Launch the Android Virtual Device ID Manager from within Android Studio to set up and manage your emulators. From here, you can create a new virtual device that matches the specifications of the physical device you're trying to emulate, or simply use one of the pre-configured options provided by Google. Once your emulator is running, go back to your Flutter project in Android Studio and click on the Run button or press Shift even. You'll be prompted to select the target device. Choose the emulator you just set up. After a few moments, your Flutter app should now be running inside the emulator. You can interact with it just as you would on a physical device, testing its features and behaviors in a simulated environment. To test, build, or run a Flutter Dart application using Android Studio on your iPhone, you first need to set up your development environment on your Mac. Install the latest version of Android Studio and add the Flutter plugin for comprehensive tools and features. Create a new Flutter project within Android Studio, leveraging templates and code completion provided by the Flutter plugin. Use an Android emulator to run and test your Flutter app, since direct connection with an iPhone isn't possible in this context. That's it. With these steps and explanations, you should now have a clear understanding of how to use Android Studio for developing, testing, and running Flutter applications on an emulator from your Mac, even if you're primarily an iPhone user. This setup allows for a seamless cross-platform development experience using the powerful tools provided by Android Studio. If you found this video informative and helpful, please don't hesitate to like it and subscribe to our channel for more content focused on mobile app development and cross-platform technology. Leave your questions or experiences with setting up Flutter and Android Studio on an iPhone in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.